welcome traders to our start of week technical analysis video. So the reason we're doing a start of week technical analysis video rather than the end of week technical analysis video, no, I did not forget. That's not what happened. Basically, I was reviewing the market and understood that the market just continued on bearish. No real exciting moves in comparison to our midweek technical analysis. So I thought, let's leave it, let's see how the market opens up today, and then go ahead and record our start of week technical analysis video inside of the London session of volatility and volume. So going over what happened last week, so sort of a post-week market review included with the start of week. So as you can see, since market open, price has been bearish. Obviously we did have that initial push up. However, price has been bearish since Wednesday. So since the evening on Wednesday, obviously we made our technical analysis video once price did end up dropping, and we spoke about the first level of support at 3,385. As you can see, price failed at this level, then came down to test 3,355, failed at this level again, and then obviously the final sort of level of support at 3,330. As you can see now, which is why I'm kind of glad we waited, because we can get a little bit of a clearer vision now. So as you can see, price is starting to create a bullish flag here. Why do I say that? It's because you can see that price has came down to test this level a few times. However, we are on the lower time frames. If I go ahead and go to the lower time frames, you can see that price is in fact creating higher highs and higher lows throughout this sort of bullish flag that we're seeing. So obviously we have our higher high followed by a higher low, higher high, then obviously now higher low, and then we're looking for price to eventually break out this previous higher high and then continue on bullish. However, as you can see, we are now marking up and going over this technical analysis inside of a live chart. So having a look at the current price action that we are seeing on the hourly time frame, it would make sense for price to continue bearish. Obviously, if we do see a continuation of some consolidation in and around this area, we are going to be looking for price to set itself up for a bullish flip. However, as you can see, the absolute size of this bearish drop since sort of the late hours on Wednesday, you can see that price has continued to drop further and further. As you can see, as of right now, if I go to our minute 5 time frame, you can see that we are starting to see that sideways consolidating movement, where we are in fact seeing price creating higher highs and higher lows in comparison to this level, where you can see price creating lower lows and lower highs, indicating to us that we are going to see a continuation. However, now we have begun to move sideways. However, as you can see, as of right now, price is dropping. We are sort of seeing price become bearish once again. If I show you with a trend line, you can see that price is now creating on the minute 5 time frame anyway, we are creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, and then obviously now creating its next lower low. So we're looking for price to then come down to this level of 3,330 as it has done previously, which is this level here, and test it once again as a support. There's a couple confirmations that we're going to be looking for and a couple things that we want to confluence into one. So if we see this level of 3,330 broken through, we're then looking for that 3,320 level, the level that we spoke about in our midweek technical analysis video. If we are to see price completely break through that level there, it's going to be around the 3,315 level as the sort of final level of support, or the final opportunity for gold to then find a level of support and then continue on bullish and just completely flip the overall bias of the market. However, there's a few things that we're going to want to take into account. So obviously, as you can see, we are on the hourly time frame. We have around 17 minutes left of this next hour candlestick before we then hit 10 o'clock GMT. So what we're looking for here is for price to eventually sort of push down on this hourly time frame and then wick itself back up, in eventually creating its next higher low. Obviously, like I just said, on the minute 5, we are in a lower low, lower high pattern. However, on the hourly, as you can see, we are still holding up and still maintaining that higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low pattern. Obviously, if we do end up clearing the next higher low, so obviously this previous higher low here, if we do clear this level of 3,330, bearish momentum is most likely going to continue. However, there's a lot of opportunity here within this next sort of 15 minutes. So going to our minute 15 candlestick, as you can see, we are starting to see that that buyer pressure where sellers are pushing price back down. However, the sellers are pushing it back up. I'm going to go ahead and go down to our minute time frame real quick, just to show you what I mean. So as you can see, the sellers are pushing price down. However, buyers are getting in. They are placing their orders and they are pushing the candlesticks back up, as you can see with the size of these wicks, indicating to us that there is a bit of exhaustion. Sellers are getting tired and buyers are jumping in and taking control. So going back to our hourly time frame, what could we look for next week, so for this current week? So what we're going to be looking for is, for this first confirmation, will be for price to hold up and continue in on this pattern. We're looking for something along the lines of this. So if we see price push up, we're then looking at our next point of interest, which is 3,350. A good confirmation would be if price can break through this recent higher high on this sort of lower, ignoring any of this information here and just sort of starting from this candlestick here. If we can break this most recent higher high on this sort of lower time frame bullish wedge, and then eventually see price come back down to test the previous high as a support, we're then going to be looking for a level around the 3,370 mark for price to continue onto. So that's sort of what we're going to be looking for in the bearish scenario, the bullish scenario. However, obviously there is going to be a chance for price to just completely catapult from this level. But the first main pivotal point for gold as of right now that we're going to be looking for is that level 3,370. Obviously we do have these points of interest, these key levels that are indicated by these colored rectangle boxes, but the main pivotal point, if we do see gold continue on bullish and buyers taking control from this point onwards, we are going to be looking for that 3,370 level as the final sort of level of a potential roof or a potential ceiling for the bullish momentum. Obviously, if we do eventually see that level of 3,370 broken through, we're then going to be looking for price to come back up somewhere near to that 3,400 level. However, again, going over the current price action that we are seeing, what we'll do is we'll go down to our hour 4. As you can see, it's the same sort of thing as the hourly time frame. We are seeing some sort of level of support found at this level of 3,330, with price coming down to test this level a few times and then buyers eventually taking control and pushing the price back up, creating big exhaustion wicks, indicating to us, like I just said, that the sellers are sort of fizzling out and the buyers are now stepping into the market and creating their orders. So one thing I will do right before we finish this start of week technical analysis video is I'll go over to our DXY. As you can see, the reason for gold being bearish as of right now is because the DXY has been bullish. And remember, like I've said before in many videos, the stronger the US dollar is, the weaker the gold will be. The weaker that the US dollar is, the stronger gold will be, if that makes sense. So as you can see right now, we are seeing some positive stuff happening for the dollar index. Obviously, as you can see down here, we do in fact have some news events. We have, what do we have here? So we have job openings, we have a GDP growth rate, which will be a big one. We have the Fed press conference and the Fed interest rate decision. So these will be big news events taking place on the Wednesday at around 4 o'clock and 12 o'clock GMT. And then we also have personal income. So we do have a lot of economic news events that are going to take place this week. And obviously, as you can see, if I go ahead and have a look here, there is some beneficial things for the dollar as of right now. You could just see one has just popped up there live, so dollar rebounds after the US-EU deal. So we have some deals going on. We have some stuff economically taking place. But going back to our baby, if you will, obviously gold, we can definitely see that taken into effect, or that showing effect on this chart here. So with current price action, we are obviously seeing this bearish momentum continue. We are seeing a strong bearish move after price has tested at this level of 3,343 as a resistance multiple times. So most likely we are going to see price maybe exhaust all the way down to that 3,320 level. But obviously we're going to continue to watch the market and then obviously tap back in on our midweek technical analysis video. So for those that worry in the future, I know I had a couple people in the bot this morning, in the customer service channel this morning, messaging our team regarding why there was no post-week market review. Sometimes we just like to change things up. Sometimes we see a better fit for the week. We're not just going to keep things exactly the same and keep it routine. We like to be diversified. We like to switch things up. We like to always change and adapt. And obviously, like I said, since the midweek technical analysis video on my part, it was my decision then to not do the end of week, not do the post-week market review, as what we spoke about in the midweek technical analysis just continued to happen. There was no real exciting moves, no shift in momentum, etc., etc. So that's going to be our sorry, not post week. That's going to be our start of week technical analysis video. Once again, I hope you have all enjoyed. As always, don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Remember, let us know in the comments below if there's anything else you'd like to see, anything else you'd like me to talk about, things that you don't want to know too much. Maybe I'm waffling on about certain things that you don't want me to. Just let me know in the comments below, and I will change and adapt, like I said previously. So once again, that's going to be our start of week technical analysis video. I hope you have all enjoyed. Peace.